What if the exercise you've trusted for years is quietly shortchanging your future mobility? If you're over 60, this might be the most important training pivot you make this decade. Today, I'm going to show you 5 targeted movements that often beat long walks for strength, balance, and confidence, while taking less time. One of them is so simple that most people can do it right away without equipment, and the science behind it will change how you think about core forever. I'll walk you through exactly how to perform each move, how to progress week by week, and how to weave them together into a 20 to 25-minute plan you can stick with. By the end, you'll have a practical blueprint to reduce fall risk, build bone-friendly strength, and protect your back, hips, and knees. I'll also share the tiny form cues that turn a meh exercise into a result maker. Ready to train smarter, not longer? Let's build a body that lets you say yes to more life, now and in the years ahead. Let's start by clearing up a common myth. Walking is great for heart health and mood, and I want you moving most days. But walking alone doesn't challenge the specific systems that tend to fade with age, like single leg stability, pushing strength, hip power, and the brain-body coordination that helps you recover from a misstep. Think of fitness like a toolkit. If you only have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. These 5 movements add a level, a wrench, and a screwdriver, strength in multiple directions, controlled balance, and slow, deliberate time under tension. That measured tempo is a secret weapon after 60 because your nervous system gets more practice controlling load, not just surviving it. As always, if you have medical conditions, recent surgeries, or new pain, talk with your clinician first. We'll keep everything joint-friendly, we'll progress gradually, and I'll give you options whether you're just getting started or already active. Exercise 5 is wall push-ups with a hold. Upper body strength matters more than most people realize. It's behind everyday wins like pushing up from a chair, steadying yourself on a countertop, opening a heavy door, or catching your balance if a bus lurches. Stand at arm's length from a wall, palms flat at shoulder height and shoulder width, feet together or slightly apart. Inhale as you slowly lean in for about 2 seconds until your nose approaches the wall. Pause here for 3 to 5 seconds. You'll feel your chest, shoulders, triceps, and, surprise, your core brace to keep your ribs from sagging. Exhale as you push back out for 2 seconds. That pause is where strength and control are built. Start with 5 to 8 repetitions, aiming for smooth, quiet reps rather than speed. If it's too easy, step your feet back a little. Too hard? Step closer. Think long neck, soft jaw, and ribs tucked, not flared. Keep your elbows angled about 30 to 45 degrees from your sides to protect the shoulders. Quality first, quantity later. Why do these help with more than just arm strength? That mid-rep hold boosts your proprioception, the body's internal GPS, because you're asking your joints and muscles to sense position precisely and to hold it. That's a cornerstone of fall prevention. Add an extra layer of benefit with this cue. Gently pull your hands toward each other on the wall without actually moving them. That create tension without motion idea amplifies muscle activation through something we call irradiation. Start with 2 sets, 3 non-consecutive days per week. After 2 weeks, you can progress by slowing the lowering phase to 3 seconds, keeping the hold at 3 to 5 seconds, and pushing up for 2. If your wrists complain, make gentle fists or place a small folded towel under your palms. Breathe steadily. Don't hold your breath, and keep your glutes lightly engaged to protect your lower back. If you want a bigger challenge later, lower your hands to mid-chest height or move to a sturdy kitchen counter for incline push-ups. Exercise 4 is seated leg lifts with optional resistance. Why this matters. Your hip flexors and quadriceps team up with your deep core every time you step, climb stairs, or stand from a chair. When those muscles weaken, your stride shortens, your toe clearance drops, and trips become more likely. Sit tall in a sturdy chair, back supported, shoulders relaxed, feet flat under your knees. Extend your right leg forward until it's as straight as comfortable. Your knee stays soft, not locked. Lift the leg until it's level with your hip if you can. Hold for 2 seconds, lower slowly, and stop just shy of the floor to keep tension. That's 1 repetition. Keep your back gently pressed into the chair and your ribs stacked over your hips. No rocking. Do 10 to 15 reps, then switch legs. When that becomes comfortable, add a light ankle weight or loop a resistance band around both ankles for gentle pull. Work unilaterally, one side at a time, to address imbalances that sneak up over the years. A few upgrades make this deceptively potent. First, dorsiflex your ankle. Pull your toes toward your shin as you lift. That wakes up the muscles that help clear curbs and thresholds. Second, place one hand just below your belly button and imagine a quiet tightening under your palm as you exhale through the hardest part of the lift. That tap-on cue helps your deep core join the party. Third, finish each set with a 5-rep hover, keeping the foot 1 inch off the floor for 5 slow breaths. If your hip flexors cramp, gently massage, then reduce the range a bit and rebuild. 2 to 3 sets per leg, 2 to 3 days per week is plenty. Start without added load, then increase resistance every week or 2 as form allows. Think of it like turning a dial, not flipping a switch. Steady, progressive challenge keeps muscles and bones adapting at any age. If you've had a hip replacement, follow your surgeon's movement precautions and keep the range within your comfort zone. Exercise 3 is standing heel raises with a balance challenge. Your calves are unsung heroes. They stabilize the ankle, propel you forward, and act like a peripheral heart, helping pump blood up from your lower legs. Strong calves support steadier walking, better stair control, and happier knees. Stand tall behind a sturdy chair or countertop, fingertips resting lightly for safety. Rise onto the balls of your feet as high as comfortably possible. At the top, gaze straight ahead and balance for 3 seconds without gripping the support. Feather light contact only. Then lower slowly for a count of 3. That slow lowering, eccentric control is pure gold for strength and tendon health. Start with 10 reps. Over time, build toward 20 to 25 crisp, controlled repetitions. When you can do these smoothly while barely touching support, progress to single-leg heel raises. Same 3-second up, 3-second balance, 3-second down. Keep your ankles from rolling outward. Press evenly through your big toe and second toe as well. Let's layer in variety to avoid plateaus and improve the systems that keep you upright. On 2 days, do your heel raises slowly with the 3-second balance at the top. On a 3rd day, practice a quick but quiet version. 1 second up, 1 second down, still in control, no bouncing. This speed change trains your reflexes and power, which helps you recover if you stumble on a curb. For extra vestibular practice, fix your eyes on a point straight ahead, not the floor. If you feel wobbly, widen your stance and keep a chair within reach. Foot pain? Start in supportive shoes. Comfortable? Try some reps barefoot on a firm surface to wake up foot muscles. A simple add-on. After your heel raises, stand on one leg and hold for 10 to 20 seconds with light fingertip support. Switch legs. That hold teaches your ankle and hip to talk to each other. If you have a history of balance issues, do these with supervision or in a hallway where both walls are within reach. Safety always wins. Exercise 2 is modified squats to a chair. This is the king of real-life movements because it trains sit to stand, the ability that predicts everyday independence better than almost anything else. Set up with a sturdy chair behind you. Stand with your feet about hip-width apart, toes slightly turned out to match your natural hip shape. Cross your arms over your chest or reach forward for counterbalance. Hinge your hips back first, as if you're closing a car door with your glutes. Then bend the knees. Descend slowly for about 3 seconds, aiming to lightly touch the chair without fully sitting or relaxing. Knees track over middle toes. They don't cave in. Press through your heels and big toes. Exhale and stand tall in about 2 seconds, finishing with a gentle glute squeeze, not a back arch. Start with 5 to 8 reps. If your knees grumble, reduce the depth and emphasize the hip hinge. You'll still get powerful benefits. As you grow stronger, here's how to progress safely. Weeks 1 to 2. Standard chair height, 2 sets of 5 to 8 reps, 3 non-consecutive days per week. Weeks 3 to 4, increase to 10 to 12 reps, and add a third set if energy is good. Weeks 5 to 6, lower the target slightly. Think a stack of cushions or a lower bench, or pause for 1 second just above the chair before standing to build control. Later, you can hold a light weight at your chest or use a backpack with a book or two for gentle load. Have knee arthritis? Warm up with 5 slow sit-to-stands, using your hands on the chair for support, then transition to hands-free as tolerated. Another knee-friendly trick. As you descend, imagine spreading the floor apart with your feet. That cue helps your hips take the lead, easing pressure on the knees. If you feel strain in your lower back, shorten the range, brace your core on the way down, and keep your chest open without overarching. Now for the movement that ties your brain and body together like nothing else in this list. Exercise 1 is the bird dog hold progression. It looks simple. Opposite arm and leg extend while your spine stays neutral. But under the hood, it's a masterclass in cross-body coordination, deep core stability, anti-rotation control, and joint-friendly strength. This pattern mirrors the diagonal rhythm you use when you walk. Left arm and right leg move together, then switch. Practicing that pattern under gentle load helps your nervous system refine timing and balance. Place your hands under shoulders and knees under hips on a mat or carpet. Think long from tailbone to crown. Without shifting your ribs or tilting your pelvis, slide your right hand forward and your left foot back. Then lift them until they're level with your trunk. Hold for 5 slow breaths. Lower with control, then switch sides. Keep your gaze on the floor a few feet ahead so your neck stays neutral. A few common mistakes to avoid: arching the lower back, lifting the leg so high that the pelvis tips, or locking the elbow. Instead, make space between each vertebra. Imagine your belt line stays level enough to balance a glass of water. For extra stability, press the grounded hand and knee gently into the floor as you reach long with the opposite limbs. This creates a stable platform. When 5 breath holds feel steady, add a tiny pulse. On an exhale, lift the extended hand and foot up 1 inch, back to level. Repeat 3 to 5 micro reps while maintaining a quiet trunk. Later, you can draw a small box in the air with your extended hand for 3 counts, and a small backward sweep with the extended foot. Still no wobbling in the torso. If your wrists are sensitive, make fists, place a towel under your heels of hand, or try a wall version. Forearms on the wall, step back, and reach one arm and the opposite leg. Let's talk timing, breathing, and why this move is worth your time. Gentle, sustained tension sends mechanotransduction signals, mechanical cues that tell tissues to adapt, without the joint pounding that can aggravate older spines and hips. Breathe through your nose when possible, letting the lower ribs expand 360 degrees. Exhale during the hardest moment to help your deep core switch on. Start with 3 to 5 holds per side, 3 non-consecutive days per week. If you feel shaky, set your kneeling knee slightly wider than hip width for a broader base, or tuck the toes of your stance foot to gain traction. If kneeling bothers your knees, add extra padding or do a standing kickstand version. Hands on a counter, step 1 foot lightly back, reach the opposite arm forward, and hold while keeping your trunk level. The goal is always stillness through the torso while the limbs move, because that anti-rotation control is what keeps you steady when life pulls you off balance, like a dog tugging a leash or a grandchild barreling into your side. If this is helpful so far, take a moment to subscribe to Senior Vitality Pro and tell me your age or where you're watching from in the comments. I read every note, and it helps me shape future topics around what you want most. Now, how do we put all 5 together without turning your day into a mini Olympics? Think small, smart, consistent. Start with a gentle warm-up. 5 slow shoulder rolls, 5 ankle circles each way, a minute of easy marching in place, and 3 deep breaths with your hands around your lower ribs. Then try this simple circuit 2 to 4 times per week. Wall push-ups with hold, 6 to 12 reps, seated leg lifts, 10 to 15 reps per side, heel raises with 3-second balance, 10 to 20 reps, chair squats, 6 to 12 reps, bird dog holds, 3 to 5 breaths per side. Rest 30 to 60 seconds between moves, longer if you need. The entire session can land in the 20 to 25-minute range. Rate your effort on a simple scale of 1 to 10. Aim for a 5 to 7. Challenging but doable, you can still speak in short sentences. That's the sweet spot for progress without overtaxing your recovery. More isn't better. Better is better. Progress is easier to see when you track it. Choose 1 or 2 simple tests to repeat every 2 to 4 weeks. For example, how many controlled chair squats can you do before your form slips? How many slow heel raises can you complete with steady ankles? How long can you hold a rock-solid bird dog on each side? Note your walking ease. Do stairs feel more sure-footed? Do you stand up from the couch with less effort? Jot down your sessions in a small notebook. Date, exercises, reps, and 1 sentence about how you felt. These little breadcrumbs keep you motivated and reveal patterns, like which time of day gives you the best energy. If you use a cane or walker, you can still benefit. Shorten ranges, keep support at hand, and celebrate each inch of improvement. The brain loves wins. Give it frequent, bite-sized ones. Let's troubleshoot common snags. If you feel joint pain, not muscular effort, but sharp or building joint pain, stop that set and modify. For wall push-ups, adjust hand height and elbow angle. For leg lifts, reduce the height, lighten the resistance, or shorten the hold. For heel raises, limit range and spend more time in the slow lowering. For squats, decrease depth and lead with the hips. Add a thicker cushion to raise the target. For bird dogs, lower the limbs and prioritize a level pelvis over high lifts. Persistent pain, swelling, or new numbness warrants a chat with your clinician or a licensed physical therapist. Medical conditions like osteoporosis, spinal stenosis, or knee replacements aren't automatic stop signs, but they require thoughtful range and alignment. For osteoporosis, emphasize slow control, avoid loaded spine flexion, and keep the bird dog neutral. For blood pressure concerns, breathe continuously, no breath holding, and rise from the floor or chair slowly to avoid dizziness. Form details are the difference between I did it and I got stronger from it. Here are tiny cues that pay big dividends. On wall push-ups, grow tall through the crown of your head and imagine your shoulder blades sliding into your back pockets as you press away. On seated leg lifts, keep your thigh facing the ceiling. Resist the urge to rotate outward. Add a gentle press of your opposite foot into the floor to anchor your pelvis. On heel raises, think of lifting from your arches rather than scrunching your toes. Your toes help, but the power comes from the big calf muscle and the deeper stabilizers. On chair squats, keep your knees tracking over your middle toes by lightly pressing your knees outward as you descend. No collapsing inward. On bird dogs, imagine zippering up the front of your abdomen from pubic bone to sternum as you exhale. This quiet tone stabilizes your spine without bracing so hard you can't breathe. Time and energy are precious, so build in success paths. Habit stack. Attach this circuit to something you already do, like brewing coffee or finishing breakfast. While the coffee drips, do heel raises at the counter. After you clear the dishes, do a round of wall push-ups. Put a folded mat where you'll trip over it, in a good way, to remind you of bird dogs. Use micro sessions, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, same day. It still counts. Caregivers and partners, train together. One of you does heel raises while the other does leg lifts, then swap. When motivation dips, which it will, shrink the goal, not the intention. One perfect round is infinitely better than, "I'll restart Monday." Your body listens to what you repeat most often, not to the most heroic day you ever had. And if you miss a day, that's normal. Pick up at the next opportunity with a little extra warm-up and carry on. Let's revisit why these 5 outpace walking for many older adults. Walking is steady-state forward motion. It's valuable, but it doesn't strengthen your pushing pattern, your hip flexors through a full range, your calves eccentrically, your sit-to-stand power, or your anti-rotation core control nearly enough on its own. This short routine covers all of those, plus it sprinkles in balance training that recruits your inner ear, your eyes, and your joint sensors to play as a team. That multi-system stimulus is what keeps you steady on gravel, confident on stairs, and resilient when life throws a wobble. The magic isn't in a single heroic set. It's in consistent, precise practice that tells your brain, this matters. When the brain believes it, it invests. Stronger connections, better timing, safer movement patterns. That's how you reduce fall risk and reclaim a sense of physical ease. Worried you're too late to start? Please set that down. I've watched people in their 70s and 80s make meaningful gains in weeks by starting exactly where they were, imperfect and willing. Here's a gentle first-week template if you're brand new or returning after a long break. Day 1. Wall push-ups 2x6, seated leg lifts 2x8 per side, heel raises 2x8 with supports, chair squats 2x5 to a tall target, bird dogs 2 times 3 breaths per side. Day 3. Repeat with 1 extra rep on each set if form allows. Day 5. Same as day 1. If you feel fresh the following week, add 1 repetition per set again. If you feel cooked, hold the numbers and simply polish your form. End each session with 2 minutes of easy breathing. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6, because the calmer your nervous system, the better you recover and adapt. For those already active, you can slot these into your schedule without overloading. If you enjoy walking, keep it, and add this strength circuit on alternate days. If you lift weights, think of this as your movement hygiene. Joint-friendly, spine-smart work that protects your bigger training. To sharpen balance further, sprinkle in context practice. Stand on one leg while brushing your teeth, do 3 sit-to-stands during TV commercials, or pause at the top of a staircase to do 3 mini heel raises holding the rail. Each microdose teaches your body to apply stability in a real-world setting. Over time, you'll notice small wins, fewer oops moments on uneven ground, easier transfers in and out of cars, more confidence carrying groceries in one trip. Those wins compound. A word on recovery and soreness. Mild muscle soreness, 24 to 48 hours after starting or progressing is normal. Sharp pain, swelling, or lingering joint pain is not. Hydrate. Get protein throughout the day. Your muscles use it to rebuild. And sleep as well as you can. Gentle walking the day after strength work often reduces stiffness. If your lower back feels tight after bird dogs or squats, spend a minute in the 90-90 breathing position. Lie on your back, calves on a chair seat, knees bent at 90 degrees, hands around your lower ribs. Take 6 slow breaths, letting your back melt into the floor. This resets the muscles that often grip when they're not needed. If your calves feel fiery after heel raises, try a gentle calf stretch with the heel down and the knee slightly bent for 20 to 30 seconds. No bouncing, then shake out your feet. As you refine these movements, sprinkle in playful challenges, safely. For wall push-ups, try a 3-position set. Hands slightly higher for 5 reps, at chest height for 5, slightly lower for 5. For seated leg lifts, add a slow 4-count up, 2-count hold, 4-count down. For heel raises, Practice a toes-together stance for a narrow base or a 10 to 2 foot angle to change the line of pull. For chair squats, pause 1 inch above the chair for 2 breaths before standing. It's tougher than it looks. For bird dogs, place a light paperback on your lower back. Your mission is to keep it from sliding off. Remember, any balance work should be near a support you can grab. These tweaks keep training fresh and spark new neuromuscular adaptations without needing fancy equipment. You might be wondering how long it takes to feel different. For many, balance steadies first, then daily tasks feel lighter and stair confidence climbs. But your timeline is your own. What matters is that you're asking your body the right questions. Can I control my body under slow load? Can I keep my midline steady while my limbs move? Can I generate force through my toes? Can I hinge at my hips without pinching my knees? These 5 exercises teach those answers. When you repeat them, your body responds by laying down sturdier tissue and cleaner movement pathways. That's the quiet miracle of getting stronger after 60. You don't just add muscle, you add clarity to how you move. Let's close our loops. We began by challenging the idea that long walks are sufficient once you're past 60. They're supportive, but they're one tool. When you consistently practice wall push-ups with holds, seated leg lifts with calm control, heel raises with balance, chair squats with a hip-first hinge, and bird dog holds with steady breath, you address the exact places aging tries to steal from: upper body push strength, hip flexor and quad endurance, calf power and ankle stability, sit-to-stand independence, and cross-body coordination that protects your spine. In 20 to 25 minutes, 3 to 4 days a week, you give your future self stronger bones, steadier feet, and a clearer brain-body connection. That's a very fair trade. Start with the smallest version you can do beautifully. Let consistency do the heavy lifting, and each week, nudge the dial. Before you go, picture one scene from your future. Maybe it's a trail you haven't walked in a while, stairs you climb without thinking, or a grandchild you scoop up with ease. Keep that image handy. On the days you feel busy or blah, do one round for that future. Then let your present self enjoy the calm, grounded feeling that follows. You don't need to overhaul your life. You need to keep this promise to your body a few times each week. I'm cheering you on. Now, choose the move that looks most doable today and give me 5 quiet, focused reps. That's the first brick. Build from there.